Hi everyone, this is Philippe Axmann. I'm with Dominic at FoilDrive, and we will give you a little tour of everything about FoilDrive and the arriving product, which could be cool. Hey Dominic.
Hi Philippe, I'm Dominic. I'm in charge of FoilDrive Europe. FoilDrive is an Australian company, but we're running their European division here. We're building a network of shops and schools in the whole of Europe and the UK.
To present quickly the range to someone who don't know that much about FoilDrive.
The Gen 2 FoilDrive range consists of the Max and the Slim, which are actually very, very different in their use case. So the Slim here is, as the name implies, super slim, very, very lightweight. And the Max system is deeper, so it can contain much bigger batteries. Now, you can have a big battery, and with a small nose cone, you can have a small battery. So you can choose the system that suits you best for either weight and runtime. They're all the same high power level. The Slim is my personal favorite for pumping as a Dockstart alternative.
Me too.
But also I'm using it more and more often for sort of gentle downwind runs, where I know it's not a particularly challenging run. All I need is a few get-ups. I'm not going to be using the motor at all or hardly at all during the run itself. This is perfect.
Yes.
It adds so little weight. It doesn't affect your performance at all. However, if you want to really motor and go places, then you've got to have the Max. And don't think that the additional weight is going to be a massive compromise. It doesn't affect your performance as much as you would think.
Yes.
So this gives the added benefit of being able to motor around a lot, to connect waves, or to go right out back before you catch the swell. You can ride things, you can ride swell that you would never be able to ride without any other system. And you can access conditions that you would never be able to ride. And you can get up on foil I can get up on foil with one or two sizes smaller foils than I would without the system. So it's a very, very versatile system.
Great.
Well,
What about the battery?
About the batteries?
Exactly. So the new battery for this year, what's coming?
Well, we've got a range of battery options for both the Max and the Slim.
Yeah.
The main battery for the Slim so far has been the performance battery, and this one gives you plenty of power to get up on foil, but not much in terms of runtime on the motor. There's loads of opportunity to pull the trigger for short, 5-10 seconds if you make a mistake, to prevent yourself from stalling, or just to get to that last wave if you run out of leg power for pumping and you can connect to the next wave. But it's not suitable for e-foil use.
Yes.
We also have the travel battery.
Okay.
So the travel battery is in two sections. You have to travel with them disconnected, but you bolt them together for use and for charging. They are actually a little bit higher capacity than the performance battery. For only about 2, maybe 300 grams more weight, and you would use the long nose cone rather than the short nose cone. It's such a good system. The Max, well, we've got more options. The small battery is the sport battery. This is the lightest one. It's 330 watt hours. Thank you very much. The large battery called the power battery is, I think,
500.
Sorry, 498 watt hours. This will give most people very much an average figure. Most people will get at least an hour of runtime.
Yes.
Hybrid foiling, not e-foiling, hybrid foiling. But now,
even full e-foil, it's close to 45 minutes.
Depends on rider weight and board size and foil size and everything else. But yeah, I mean, I'm personally, the setup I ride, I get about half an hour of really good fun e-foiling. And you get a little bit more by the sound of it. That's crazy good.
A bit lighter.
Yeah. However, we've now got this bad boy here. This is the new high power battery with roughly 20% more capacity.
So 100 watt hour more than the traditional max power. So it's about 600 watt-hour.
It is indeed. It's just under 600 watt-hours. This is the same design, but the
With
most
higher
modern
density.
cells that you can find. So it's the cells.
It's higher density cells.
Yeah. And finally, we have the max travel battery. The max travel battery is in 3 pieces. 2 of them are between 100 and 160 watt hours. That's your maximum limit per person on a flight in your hand luggage. The other piece is under 100 watt hours, so that's not regulated. So each person is able to take one complete max travel battery set on a flight with them, but do check your airline regulations first.
Cool. And any other battery plan for the foreseeable future?
Paul's got all sorts of plans for the future. At the moment, the high power range, we're just about to launch, but there's more than just the battery. Should we have a look at the motors as well?
Yeah, we'll have a look at the motor right now. Let's go. And now we're gonna see the other new product, and especially the motor, because they have been pretty much upgraded during this last time.
Yeah. So the current motor that we have, we call it the V2 motor system.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same motor, but we've changed the cable attachment system so that you can essentially just change the cable to have any length of cable that you like and mount the motor anywhere you like on the mast. So this is it. All the cables are separate. This is a 25, you can have 12, 15, 20, 25, and then 60 and 70 if you want to use it as an e-foil. Essentially, all you do is you plug the cable in there, put the puck on, 4 bolts, and then it's literally ready to bolt into the motor pod. So to change cable is very, very quick and simple. The cables are very cheap. I think they're retailing at around about €70 each, regardless of the length. So to buy a system and then use it as a foil assist and as an e-foil, it's super cheap to be able to have one product that does literally
just
everything.
buy one and you have any foil and a foil assist that can evolve with your performance, starting 25 centimeter cable and finish at 12 when you are really.
It can be a performance model for you when you're wanting to be a performance foil, but for your family, maybe your kids, your spouse, it can be just a real fun toy that they're having fun on the beach while you're relaxing after a hard session.
Easier way to sell it to your wife.
Absolutely. So, the evolution in our motor systems, I should first of all say that we are not changing this V2 motor. This V2 motor is staying as the standard motor that you buy when you buy the Gen 2
It comes with
kit.
every box. Yeah.
It comes as standard in the box. For those people who want to have more power, and that's not everybody, but some people do, they can buy as an extra, they can buy the high power motor. Okay. You cannot swap this for this in the kit. You buy the kit with this, and if you need more power, you have to buy this extra.
Okay.
The only difference visually is that the high power motor on the bottom there is about 10 mil longer. Now, it's not just the length, it's the internal wirings and how the motor is configured. But essentially, this gives 20 to 25% more low-end thrust. Now, why is that important? It's going to make it much easier for heavier people to get up on foil, or for anybody using a really small low-volume board, or to go down in foil size.
Yes.
So that's the beauty of this motor, to give you more boost when you need it, not the top-end speed. We're not really about producing systems that are just about going non-stop speed.
It's already fast enough.
Yeah, I think so anyway. FoilDrive is there for performance foiling. For beginners and experts, no matter what your level, we will help you have more time on foil, catch more waves, just have more fun. One more thing about the high power motor is that because it's got more low-end thrust, you're actually using less thrust, less throttle to get up on foil. Therefore, you're using the motor less, which adds up to more runtime because you're using less energy from the battery each time you take off. Unless, of course, you're using it because you want to use smaller foils, and then you'll be using the same or more. Yeah. So it depends on what you're trying to use it for. You may find that you get more runtime from it, but really the main benefit from the high power motor is obviously the extra thrust.
And I think now there is also a software upgrade, so you can just with a free upload upgrade the power of your Mac system with more boost.
Yeah, this is the beauty of FoilDrive. We're actually making our product better and better and better, not just with optional extras that you can buy, but with free upgrades as well. So anybody who has a Max kit, the upgraded app, instead of 20% boost, you now get 24% boost. And with the high power battery, that's actually up to 28% boost. Now, these are small increments, but every little bit makes a difference. And when was the last time you bought a tech product that a year later, suddenly you were told it got better? I mean, that's pretty good value, if you ask me.
Wonderful. So that was for the motor, the battery, and I see also some other fancy things here, like this little boy here. Can you tell us more about that one?
Yeah, sure. So this is our standard controller at the moment. It's based on a trigger system, progressive trigger. The more you pull the trigger, the more the throttle, the more the thrust there is. It's great for most applications, but there are certain applications where it's awkward to use. For example, with a SUP paddle or winging. Now, this is not released yet. Sometime this year, this will be refined and released. This is a prototype, but essentially, it comes with various optional extras. This one here, well, let's start off with these. You can pre-program these 4 buttons using the app to any percentage throttle that you like. This is a kill switch. It's based on a magnet, so you attach that to, clip it to your wetsuit or around your neck or wrist leash or something. So you pull that away and the whole motor cuts out. It's a very good safety system. So that can be put on the deck of a prone board, and you press one of these buttons. It gives you that amount of thrust until the kill switch is activated.
I think you can also program that after the kill switch is activated, you still have like 3 seconds of 1, 2, or 3 seconds, depending on what you like of boost.
Absolutely.
So you can finish your takeoff in a wave and get going.
That's correct. Well done. Thank you. So also, you can add these attachments. So if you screw that in there, then essentially what you've got is an extension with these buttons here, which are, again, pre-programmed to whatever throttle percentage you like. But the difference here is that it will only activate the motor while you are pressing the button in. So you release it, and it cuts the motor out. So you can put this wherever you like, so it's out of the way. And this, you can tape or strap exactly where you want it, either somewhere on your body maybe, or on the SUP paddle, or a wing, boom, or handle, and you've instantly got access to, say, 40, 60, 80, 100%. It's super simple and safe to operate. The biggest problem most people have with this when they're winging is controlling the level of throttle, or SUP foiling. It's difficult to control the exact level. One slip and suddenly you've got 100% or nothing. Whereas this one, you know exactly how much you're going to have, and when you release it, you know you've got nothing. So it's just going to make life so much easier. And the applications for just people coming up with their own ideas. Paul is designing one of these attachments with a pressure-sensitive pad. And it may sound really bizarre, but I'm really excited to use it in my mouth. So you chew on it, literally. The harder you bite on it, the more power you have. But imagine for a sinker board for wing foiling. So you've got that in your mouth, you're chewing on it just to get the board up onto the plane, and then you're away. I mean, it's just mind blowing.
I can't wait to try that one.
Yeah.
It can feel weird, but it can be very good application for many things we do in proning. So
who knows? I think we're going to learn a lot from people coming up with some really cool ideas of how they use these things.
Great, wonderful. Okay, what else do we have? The protection for the kids.
The prop guards for kids or beginners. It's a really, really, good option. Safety. Obviously, it's going to add drag, but for those people who are beginning or super young or super cautious, then I think if the concern is safety, then that overrides the issue from drag.
Yes. Wonderful. And maybe one last thing before we leave you, Dominic. It's that little baby here. Ooh.
If you like carbon, then this is going to make your day, because this is the most hydrodynamic integrated mast in existence. I cannot tell you how high the performance is on this mast. It's ridiculous. Everything about it has been designed with FoilDrive in mind, with the axis quality, with the axis stiffness. The profile of this mast is amazing. But having this motor pod as part of the carbon mold is unbelievable. It really is. You barely notice this thing going in and out of the water. The mast plate has been designed to be just fit exactly the width of the box. There's no overhang, so there's no drag from that whatsoever. It is a masterpiece of engineering. It really is. It fits the V2 motor system. You've got to appreciate good engineering when you see it, and this is a good example of exactly that.
Yeah.
And it's super stiff. That mast is just super stiff.
We're all loving that new profile with the main beam, which is quite backward and make it very easy to carve and super stiff. So having the FoilDrive integrated on that mast is just it's wonderful.
And where it comes down, so you've got a much, well, not much, but a noticeably reduced chord here in the bottom third of the mast. And the profile is it 12 or 13 mil?
Down it's 13.5.
13.5
on the 80s.
And the stiffness that they get from that mast is just unbelievable. So yeah, this is just performance orientated for sure.
Can't wait to see that one on my local spot. I've tried it already in the pool, but we are all looking to try it in real, and it won't be a long time before it's available. So
the most exciting thing is not only in terms of reducing drag, so higher performance, but imagine motoring upwind against the wind to do your up-down winders, or just motoring out back. I personally feel like the drag is reduced so much that I get increased runtime, because every time that motor pod goes through the water or punches through a wave, or even when you're downwinding and it does dip in to the water occasionally, you notice it less. It definitely slows you down less. Therefore, the runtime surely must be increasing. Now,
that's for sure.
It's not going to double your runtime or anything like that, but every little performance increase, that's what foiling is all about. Those little increases, they all add up to make the overall. One of the most important things about any motor pod is that it has to be hydrodynamic, because any disruption to the flow of water that's being pulled through into the props, which are out like this, any disruption to that water flow is going to cause inefficiency. So the smoother that water flow is, the more efficient your propellers can be, and the more power you're going to get out of your system, and therefore the less time you need to use the motor for and the longer the runtime. So it all helps, it really does. Even these 4 little bolt holes here where the bolts go in to connect to the motor, there are little plugs. So there will be there'll be zero drag from any part of it. And just imagine when this is dropped into a recessed board.
On a trench.
Oh, it's
that's a new world of FoilDrive.
Yeah.
It's always going so much into the evolution. We can't wait to see what we're going to do with that.
And I believe this is 17 centimeters from the mast plate. So at the moment, I think that's the only height that Axis are going to do. But in the future, we'll see what happens. Now, I always ride 20. I know a lot of people prefer 15, and a few people love the 12 centimeter cable. But that's extreme, and there's not many people who are really able to deal with a 12 centimeter distance from the mast plate.
Yeah.
I think Adrian hit it right. Going between the 20 and the 15, I think is ideal, because 15 is quite challenging. 20 is my happy place for difficult conditions, but in clean conditions, I love the 15. So roughly halfway between the two is I think a really good choice. It's good compromise.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Dominic.
No problem, my pleasure.
For your time, and we can't wait to try all this new toys and know what.
Come and find us. Well, you do just as many demo events as I do throughout the year, so come and find Philippe or me or Andrea, and we're going to be going around Europe this season, so many locations, just giving as many people the chance to test these all of these systems as we possibly can.
So we'll post that online too, and you'll have the day to join us and try the FoilDrive and all the gear.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks,
have a good day.
Cheers.
Bye.